Hello, welcome and welcome back. This is Jacob and today we are gonna be continuing the narration and character voice acting for the side story of Flurry to the Flame. And as always, if you're new to the channel, the playlist for this is in the description of the video if you want to start from the beginning. And including there are two other playlists as well, multiple playlists, but the two on the top with this one would be playlists for older collab side stories if you want to go back and listen to those and compare them to see how they fare against our current newest one. One of them, by the way, is not even available in the game anymore. That one got literally deleted out of the game the moment it was finished, and that is the It's Been a While side story. So if you wanna go back and listen to that, it is right there. But more importantly, thank you guys for all the likes and the comments on not just the previous episode, but the episode before that as well. And welcome to all the new subscribers that came in since episode 1 of this went up. So hi, welcome. I hope you enjoy your stay. That's quite a surge compared to the usual stuff. So yeah, thank you very much. Like I said on the previous episode, every single one of these parts for the Monster Hunter collab is thanks to Capcom, gonna have, and their music of course, their epic music, still their music, gonna have copyright things on them. So I don't know if, like I said, that affects them in the algorithm, but if you guys keep liking the videos and interacting with them, leaving comments, that will definitely help propel the videos in the algorithm. So thank you very much. It definitely is working from what I can see, so keep it coming. But yeah, anyway. As always, we shall proceed into the quick recap of the previous part. So for those of you who wanna jump ahead, the timestamp is as always in the comment section below. Hit it and you'll be right at the beginning of the story for this episode. But let us begin with on the previous part. Well, our four protagonists, after their little spelunking adventure, are now trudging through the forest and are trying to track down the Rathalos. They're not, well, let's put it this way, they are getting distracted. At first by Smithy finding a couple of eggs from literal flying skunks. And yes, in the art they do look like crows, but apparently they stink like hell. And I'll believe them. But anyway, Noir gets the brunt of it, so he's now Stinky Noir, apparently. But anyway, as they keep continuing, they also get besieged by a horde of rampaging beasts that are in a frenzy. They do stop them, thanks to a very well placed dunk bomb provided by Smithy from Noir Corn, who is now even stinkier, and Yato executing the pack leader of the beasts that were charging through the forest. The rest of the beasts after that disperse, and they notice that the pack animal had some kind of grayish dust on its nose, which apparently made them go into a frenzy. So they are definitely suspecting the old hunter, even though Yato believes that the hunter cannot know that they are also in the forest as of yet. In the meantime, the old hunter is still talking to just himself, and he's becoming more and more crazy as time goes on. But thanks to the chase that the four of them were on now by the beast, they're in a part of the forest where they are completely lost. They cannot judge their senses because they cannot find a way forward. And their equipment is also being tampered with by whatever the phenomenon in that specific part of the forest is. They do, however, luckily find some engravings on a tree that tell them to follow the wind and they should be safe. And they do so, and they land at a lake. At the lake they find a campsite left by old hunters of the village. They do decide to recuperate over there, get some food in them, and Smithy finally makes the gear for our two protagonists. Yato and Noir finally got their Monster Hunter gear. And they do look dashing, both of them. Even though Corn trips. Why? Anyway, as they are admiring their new gear and are trying to get used to the new equipment. They don't really get a chance too much because the old hunter appears in the camp. He reminisces about old times in it and engages with the group, and is also trying to not just take the gear that has been left in the camp by hunters, but also their gear, because he's still trying to get them out of the forest. But before they can come to any kind of conclusion, another feline appears. A third one now appears, and this one is a palico, a monster hunter companion. And this one warns them about the impending approach of the Rathalos. However, they don't really get a chance to prepare much at all, and the Rathalos is already there. They engage in combat with him. They can't really land any proper damage or hits on him, considering they are not yet used to how to handle their new gear. They're still noobs. They'll get to it. They'll get there. But in the final moments of the kerfuffle, the Rathalos seems to be on approach to the scholarly feline, who promptly jumps on the Rathalos to avoid danger. Smart? I mean, I guess smart it is, kinda in that situation. The Rathalos can't see it anyway. However, Korn also decides to jump after the feline on top of the Rathalos, and the Rathalos just decides to fly away. And they're now on their merry way to who knows where. We'll see, because that is literally where we left off. Yato and Kashi are left back on the ground, and together with Smithy and the Palico, while the scholarly feline and Korn are in flight. So this will be interesting. Anyway, that is where we left off. So then, let us proceed to today's part. And yes, as you can see, today's part will be just the stages 6 and 7. I was considering doing this in its entirety and finish off the entire story in one single episode, but bit under time constraint today. Had a plumber over here, so, you know, couldn't spend the proper day recording as I would have hoped for. But anyway, it is a decently long part anyway for stages 6 and 7, so you'll probably get the final part of this narration a day after this, roughly. But anyway, enough of that. Let us properly begin with stage number 6. No fly zone. The sky can be conquered not only by wings, but also by wisdom and your own two hands. Also, before we begin, the beginning of this part is very interesting, especially to do it vocally properly. Prepare your butts. Here we go. You've got me meowing. We're falling. What are you talking? Ugh, the wind's too strong. My mask. We're falling. I'm holding on as tight as I can. You won't fall. Rathalos, the Rathalos is falling. A mask is covering my eyes. I can't see a thing. Narcorn! Narcorn! Look, what the Rathalos is charging toward. Toward what? We're about to crash. Hold on. Finally my mask is back in place. We're gonna crash. My notes, my tail, all fine. Thank heavens. Where are we? It's dark here. Korn? Norcorn? Are you still alive? I can only see half your body here. Norcorn, don't die. I'm okay. Could you stop tugging on my leg? I have a lamp in my equipment bag. Turn it on. A lamp? What's that? You mean this thing? Yeah, now flip the switch at the bottom.
Ah, that's bright. But it's not hot at all. How do you do it?
Another thing. My horn. It's stuck in this rock. Could you come and help me out?
Your horn's stuck in the rock.
Hey, don't laugh.
I'm on my way.
Climb up from over there. Ah! Don't climb on me. And definitely don't grab that.
Here I am. Is this where you're stuck?
My butt. Where's the Rathalos? Do you see it?
I went inside.
The opening of this cave's too high up. They take us too much work to climb up without help. We need to find a way to signal Yato, but we also can't lose track of the Rathalos. Wait, where are we anyway?
I was going to ask Mia.
The Rathalos went down the cave, and the cave only further down. Maybe it's connected to the other one close to the village. Looks like we'll have to head that way to check it out. Hey, Scholar, wait up! What's the rush?
Yeah, we need to hurry. There are so many mysteries. The laws of nature here aren't at all different from where we're from. But there are all those situations I can't wrap my head around. The Rathalos is acting way too oddly.
Oddly? The new feline mentioned something about it being abnormal too.
I'll explain it to Mia as we walk. The Rathalos burrowed itself down here. Perhaps the cause of its odd behavior can be found here too. I swear this on the name of a former Royal Paleontology Scrivener Scholar. I will get to the bottom of this. Narcorn, come check this out.
I'm coming. Goodness, this stinks. Huh? Scholar, are these?
All animal carcasses, and shredded and torn apart by the Rathalos.
Shell beasts, horn beasts, foul beasts. So many different beasts. They did kill all of these animals for food. Are these leftovers?
No, a Rathalos's bite can crush even bones. There is no way it would leave behind so many carcasses. They all look very complete too. They were killed, but there are no chew marks on or signs of them having been eaten. Come, let's check out what's up ahead.
Alright.
How could this be?
What did you find?
Carcasses here have all been burned to a crisp. They were killed and dragged all the way down here, but it still spat fire at them. There's no way it could have eaten any of these.
Is it angry?
Look here. This, and this. None of them. It didn't eat even a single one of them. Perhaps the Rathalos can't eat Terran creatures?
Could that explain how it's abnormal?
I don't know. Hunger can change its behavior. But it's hard to say for sure that's the reason. Why? I don't get it at all. Based on my observation data, Terran creatures follow the same growth patterns as where we're from. Besides, I ate the same food as you, and there's nothing wrong with me, Mia.
This is just a guess, but what if it's not caused by the food, but by the originium on its skin?
You mean Rathalos got telepathy?
Hey, look at that!
What, Mia?
Quick, help me get all of these animals out of the way. The dirt too.
It stinks. Why can't you do it yourself?
Well, you tricked me into holding that fin catching rod for you. This is payback.
I'm mad. Mad, I tell you.
Wait, cut it out! I think I know why there are those traces of originium on the Rathalos' body now.
Are you talking about the holes we're digging? What could they possibly imply?
These are tracks left behind by originium mining. The area underneath is most likely an originium mine. If this mine is why the villagers have been going as far as to hide a cave from us, then that would explain everything.
Wait, what do you mean? Where exactly does it explain anything?
Considering Higashi's current situation and its dwindling resources, a private originium mine that's hidden from the outside world could bring them piles of cash even if all they do is sell crude ore. But if any outsiders, maybe even greater forces, were to find out about their mine, it could very well get taken over by force. It might even put their lives in danger.
So what you're saying is originium is a kind of mineral that's found in the earth, and the villagers have been digging it up?
That's right.
And you people do that on regular basis?
Yep.
As I recall, you said originium can cause an incurable disease called orypathy, or even a catastrophic disaster that tears even the land and the sky apart.
Exactly.
So why could you possibly want to dig it up?
Because it's an energy source, I guess.
Energy source? You can burn wood and oil for heat, and you can boil water to propel machines. Can't you people do any of that for energy? I can't think of a good reason for willingly exposing yourself to something so dangerous.
What did the doctor say again? We Terrans use originium through originium arts. Thanks to advancements in originium engine technology, originium became widely used as an industrial energy source, and in the past it was also often used for casting arts. I don't know any arts though. How I can explain this to you with something else? Oh, hand me the light.
What are you doing with it? Ah, don't take it apart, you'll burn it out!
Here, this is what I'm talking about.
Huh? It's still lit up?
Take a look at this. This is a battery. It's what powers the light bulb up here. And that's how it's lit up.
What does that have to do with originium?
That battery has originium in it too. There's also this, what do you call it? Arts unit? That's the thing that turns the battery's originium into electrical currents that light up the bulb.
So it lights up because of originium?
Not only that, the light bulb, the outer shell, and all the parts inside were mass-produced in a factory.
Mass-produced?
It's when you make the same thing over and over on a large scale. Take this exploration lamp. A huge factory can make over 1,000 of them in a day.
1,000? That's so convenient. Could the clothes all the villagers wear possibly be made in those factories too?
That's right. The factory uses machines to build these parts, and what's driving those machines is called an originium engine. And they need originium to function. That's how it is in most places here.
So Terra's technology and even its civilizations are built on a foundation of originium.
I guess that's about it.
But our hunters don't have lamps, or the kind of clothes you wear. The lamp is convenient, I'll give you that. But even without something as dangerous as originium, we get by just fine. It should be possible to replace it with something else here too, shouldn't it?
Are these hunters common where you guys are from?
Of course. If we leave the monsters be, they could pose significant threats to the villagers' safety, and our livelihoods depend on the materials you get out of them.
So, are all the hunts these hunters go on safe?
No. Most of the time, there are dangers everywhere. You're more likely to fail a hunt than succeed. And there's only a very small number of truly skilled hunters. When they are up against truly tricky monsters, most hunters end up losing their lives.
Then our originium is actually not a whole lot different from your monsters.
Huh? What do you mean?
Both originium and monsters are unpreventable threats, but they both also give us the opportunity to survive. You probably won't see one, but catastrophes are actually very common here in Terra. Most folks live in the nomadic cities, and each city can have tens of thousands of residents. When a catastrophe is about to strike, the entire city starts moving.
A city with tens of thousands of residents moving. That sounds marvelous. How do you move something that big?
Originium. Only the originium hidden in only the energy hidden in originium can move a nomadic city. No other energy source comes close.
And can't believe this.
We all definitely understand that using originium can cause catastrophes. But when catastrophes strike, if you want to survive, even if all you have nearby is a twig or branch floating in a puddle, you're bound to grab it. It doesn't matter if it has thorns. That's the least of your worries. Before nomadic cities were invented, before we started using originium at the scale we do now, many more people died from catastrophes.
Pharaoh sounds so scary.
Those thorns may end up cutting your fingers, but the catastrophe is not going to end just because of your pain. You have no choice but to hold on, and hold on for dear life. And it doesn't matter how hard you look, until you find a smooth tree branch that won't cut you, that's all you can do. It doesn't matter how difficult it all is, you just have to grit your teeth and live on.
Or corn. I can hardly call you smart just for this, but perhaps you have a point. Thinking about it now, the difficulties we face aren't all that different. The materials we need to forge weapons that can take on the fiercest beasts likewise come from fierce beasts, and behind that must be a countless number of sacrifices too. There are hunters who never return from their hunts, commission members who fall while exploring the new world, and plenty of scriveners who disappeared without a trace while observing dangerous creatures for data.
Looks like no matter where we are, people are fragile, and the world is a cruel place.
But even if all that suffering is inevitable and you have to pay the price to survive, must innocent lives be sacrificed too? I've never heard of things like that where I'm from. Things like originium which makes the innocent suffer. They don't catch a riptide because they want to, and they won't even get to live without treatment. How could it possibly be right?
Of course it's not right.
Huh? So quick to answer.
Which is why somebody has to step forward and take on the burden of showing everyone else the way forward.
Hello? Is anybody there? What's that noise?
Did someone just talk?
Stop chatting. Look over there. I've been stuck in here for 3 days now. Could you come over here and move the stuff blocking this door?
She's asking us for help. Where are you? We're coming right away.
Whoa, watch out. There's about to be another beast outbreak.
Beast outbreak?
You can more or less figure it out from the name, can't you? It's an outbreak of all the animals in the forest going berserk at once. I think I hear a familiar noise too.
I can hear it too. It's not coming again, is it?
Whenever you see a surge of animals here, you can bet they're all infected.
Alright, and we should continue with the after part.
Operator Noir, Korn, report your status. I can't reach him. The signal's too weak. Kashi, wow. I prefer not to shoulder unnecessary burdens while on a mission, so if you can't keep up with my pace, please remain where you are, or return to the camp.
You fool! Who said I was traveling with you?
If you're pursuing the Rathalos, then please don't leave my side without permission. I need to ensure your safety.
You little...
Palico, keep going. So here's what happened. The hunter I was following had accepted a commission from a member of the royal family. They seemed to be in a bad mood, and were looking for a Rathalos ruby to fashion into a brooch. A bad mood? You were hunting a Rathalos on such a whim? That client should be just considered an example. To return to my main point, I first spotted this Rathalos in the forest near a volcano. Right as I was about to catch up to it, I was suddenly swept away by a strange force, and by the time I had made sense of things, I was already here.
Do you remember what kind of force it was?
Unfortunately, my memories of it are very vague at best.
A power capable of bringing over a Rathalos could be considered an even greater threat, but in the interest of time, please continue.
I was still extremely unfamiliar with the environment here when I arrived, so I chose to continue tracking the Rathalos and discreetly observe its behavior. Based on what I've seen, it started behaving abnormally after it discovered a cave entrance and went inside.
A cave entrance leading into the mountain?
Precisely.
Was there anything distinctive about it?
Unfortunately, it appeared to be a regular cave from what I could tell, but the Rathalos did start behaving strangely after entering. I took a cursory stroll inside only to find the cave network is particularly complex, and my several attempts to locate the Rathalos were all in vain. My presumption is that it has occupied an area within the cave to build a nest, which should be a wide space near the entrance.
Based on what we saw in the cave behind Roca Village, these caves should all be interconnected, so it's no surprise the Rathalos showed up. There's one more thing I'd like to know. As you've seen, our previous fight with the Rathalos was not an easy one, not at all easy. In fact, you could call it difficult. We've yet to officially deal any damage, so I find it hard to be optimistic about our next encounter. I fear we may have to pay a considerable price for victory.
I understand.
So what I want to ask, based on your knowledge of the Rathalos, how do we ensure a victory in our next battle? Or to put it another way, is there any way to improve our chances?
It's hard to judge. Compared to a typical Rathalos, this one is highly agitated and shows a strong tendency to attack at the slightest provocation. Earlier, I noticed that its senses have also improved, which is correlated with a change in its attack patterns. This is the basis for my assumption that its behavior is abnormal. Neither of us have flash bombs nor shock traps in our arsenal, so I'm at a loss at how to trap it.
So you're saying our chances remain low?
I do have some ideas on how to boost the damage we deal to it, for I have observed Your Majesty seems to lack instructions on the use of your dual blades.
Dual blades? You're referring to these strange pair of weapons? True, I do feel a lack of strength behind my blows when wielding them.
These pair in your paws seem to be the weapons from our world, and of extremely good quality. So you can at least rest assured they were crafted by one of our finest craftsmen.
Is that so?
Yeah. I can explain to you the key to using your dual blades. If you can manage to wield them correctly, you will be able to deal with substantially more damage to the Rathalos. But before that, my observations have led me to ask the critical question: is it truly necessary to hunt it?
You mean that we shouldn't kill it?
My understanding of the powerful hunters are usually the key to maintaining a balanced ecology. Hunting of any kind will have an effect, and the consequences must be carefully considered before any action is taken. According to my observations so far, the Rathalos' activities range is quite far from the village, so it does not pose a significant threat to them, and moreover, the ecology of this area seems to be quite unbalanced. The area is clearly overpopulated by herbivores, judging from the obvious damage to the forest vegetation, so the Rathalos' ability to keep the herbivores in check could be considered a positive. If I was back in my homeland and had already obtained my commission materials, I would not choose to hunt harmless meowsters.
To be clear, my mission isn't to hunt the Rathalos either, but to deal with another deadly threat, Oripathy, and our current clues point to the Rathalos at the source. The fate of the monster is irrelevant to me, as long as we can identify the source of the disease and eliminate the threat it poses to the village.
You lot.
So in order to determine the cause, we must...
You lot!
Your Majesty?
Ignore him.
It's all your fault!
You... Kashiwao raises his hunting spear.
So, it's all your fault!
Kashiwao, what are you trying to do?
Why? Why don't any of you listen to me? Why? You just had to break into the forest and run around like a pack of brainless beasts. Just look at yourselves. You are powerless before that monster, yet still you want to hinder me, block my way, chase after my quarry, and still you talk about wanting to protect whatever it is. But the truth is, that boy is missing because you didn't listen to me, and that monster is still alive and well!
We're still in the early stages of figuring out countermeasures, so a failure or two shouldn't be unsurprising.
What would you even know? Only trash like you would say it couldn't be done. And now you're saying you shouldn't hunt it at all, hiding behind some nonsensical cowardly excuse? I suppose next you'll even want to rescue it from me, yes? Now I understand. You're here to torture me, aren't you? To purposely torment me, an old man not long for this world. All because I still remember him. Remember the things you lot insist on forgetting. That's why you're torturing me like this. Just like you did to him. Strip my skin, drain my blood, break my ribs, cut open my chest, extract my marrow. Well, say something!
Sorry, I have no idea where to start with that rant. Just put down your weapon and let's move on. We don't have the time to waste on irrelevant small talk.
Don't move!
What can you even do?
Be gone from my sight! Go back to wherever you came from. I'm ordering you. Get lost.
Not happening. I will repeat myself. I have no reason to obey your orders.
Nandaya! Why is this happening again? Unwilling to listen to even a single word of advice. You still wanting to protect others? With your meager abilities, self-righteous fool! All you can do is impose your will on others. No one needs your protection. Those who take action should suffer the consequences. They deserved what was coming to them. Everyone else should mind their own business. Fuskerna, you should have just stood by and watched. I'm the only one who can hunt that monster. I'm the only one who deserves to. If you dare take another step forward, I'll have you taste the tip of the spear.
No, you won't. You don't have the guts to.
Stop!
What you say means little to me. That hunting spear in your hands, I barely see it as a threat. See, I've been approaching you, and yet your spear has not moved an inch.
This is your last warning!
Just give it up already. You can't do it. Since you insist on delaying my progress, I'll have to settle this with you in a way that will remove the possibility of future interference.
What? Stop!
If you really walked your talk, you would have disposed of me and Noir Corn while we were wounded, satisfying your desire to have the beast all to yourself. But you didn't.
You don't come any closer!
I can understand the reluctance to strike at your own kind. Since the beginning, I felt that all your actions were only to dissuade us. Not long ago, you even pushed me away from the Rathalos. You don't actually want us to be in danger.
Nonsense! Stop! I'm warning you! This is the last time!
To turn to the subject of hunting, as a hunter, isn't your top priority to eradicate the threat your prey poses at the least possible cost? And yet, you've been fighting against such a huge predator for so long. Apparently, you disagree. You've consistently refused my offers to work together, insisting on facing it alone despite your lack of ability, in the process putting the safety of the entire village at risk, which clearly contradicts your attempts to protect us from harm. I'm starting to suspect that your Rathalos hunt is nothing more than a personal obsession.
Damare!
Judging at your expression, I must have hit the mark. Then I take that nothing you've done has actually been to eliminate the threat, but instead you've been blindly chasing it out of anger and remorse. Which is, in a word, selfish. The way I see it, you're not much of a hunter at all.
Ned, that was my quarry all along. You're no hunter, so who are you to judge? Stop this! Just stop it already!
If you wish to refute anything I've said, then just thrust forward with a spear of yours and you'll have everything you say you want. It's as simple as that. I'm right here, right in front of you. Come on, kill me.
Hi!
What exactly is the source of your obsession, Kashiwao? Is it Akira Kashiwao?
You... Where did you hear that name?
I'm guessing that he's not in the village anymore, correct? What is his relation to you? You share a surname, so clearly more than friends. From the photo he seemed younger than both you and the village headman, as well as a former hunter. His name is also etched onto the hunting spear you're holding. So, a relative?
Stop talking.
You keep referring to me in the plural. Is it because your image of him overlaps with me somehow? I'm guessing that he once went on a hunt against your advice, leading to irreparable consequences, including him leaving you somehow. Since then, you've regretted your decision and been haunted by the pain, and you can only vent your frustrations on the hunt.
Damare! You know absolutely nothing!
I think I do, actually. It can be hard being caught up in the past, but those emotions will only impair your judgment. Your obsessions will never change the past, but they will keep you from moving forward. But open your eyes and take a good look. Is this really the time to be rambling about the past to a stranger? If you can't bring yourself to kill me, then we should put aside our differences and work together on this hunt. I still trust you are a somewhat capable hunter, so if you agree, I'm willing to put this all behind us. And we can finally stop wasting time on this sort of nonsense.
No, you don't know a thing at all. Akira is my son. He's already dead. 7 years ago, on this day, on a night just like tonight, the mountains were filled with the cries of those beasts. I told him not to go, that those guys were asking for it, but no matter how much I warned him, he just kept saying, "No, I am a hunter of the village." He just kept saying that, over and over again, before rushing out without looking back. Later, when I finally saw him again, it was far too late for him to say anything more. No, you know, if it weren't for his clothes and equipment, I wouldn't have recognized him at all. The sun was shining on his body, and yet his hands were so cold. I don't understand. My son, how did he end up like that? I saw them, a Tarataki, and the backs of those Bakayero. I just knew it. They were all there when it happened, but they didn't do a thing. They just watched my son. So how could you possibly understand my pain?
The tip of the spear is trembling so much now, as is his paw. His fingers are moving towards that. Careful, Your Majesty! He's about to shoot his spear! Got it!
Let's go!
I heard a sharp whine in my eardrums as beads of blood dripped down from small scratches on my ear. The spearhead was stuck by my left foot and half buried in the ground. When I turned around, I saw the old man's clouded, shaky eyes.
How could I?
I'm fine. Calm down.
Stay away! No, it wasn't me. It's your own fault. You and you! This is all of your fault! All of you!
Kashi, wow. This was from the raffles earlier.
Your Majesty, what's wrong? Why can't you stand? The situation...
Lead me after him, Palico. Alright, and we shall continue on to stage number 7. Heart-piercing strike. The spike was lodged deep in the heart, and every beat came accompanied by a stinging pain. But pulling it out would only leave blood dripping everywhere. Alright, and let's start.
Arcorn, you almost cut me in half.
Sorry, I still haven't gotten the hang of this longsword yet.
These fellows look even scarier than the ones we saw in the cave before. Judging from the originium crystal distribution on their bodies, the infection seems to be quite severe, and they're moving so quickly as if trying to flee. You must be quite curious about how I know so much. It's because I've been observing the endemic life forms affected by originium the whole time. Hey, are you even listening?
Saving people is more important than that. We need to go and take a look. Hello? It's safe now. Where are you?
Here. Over here.
Huh? Over here?
Yes, behind the sliding door.
There's nothing blocking the door though.
Huh? How is that possible? I've tried everything I could to open it, to no avail.
How about lifting this handle down here?
Like this? Huh, it opened. So that's how it works. No wonder I had so much difficulty finding it. What an ingenious design.
So, were you trapped like that for the last 3 days?
That's right. Maybe I was a bit too obsessed with my research. After all, it's such a rare finding. Oh, what's this soft thing under my feet?
The corpse of an originium slug. May I ask who you are?
Sorry there, Sluggy. I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Mirai Taki, an ecological researcher. Arcorn, the horns on her head are different than yours.
You said your name was Mirai?
Yep.
We're operators from Rhode Island on a mission in the area. I'm Noir Corn, and this is...
Yeah. So you're a scholar of the environment here? Of course. I'm in the middle of an ecological survey, actually. May I take a look at your research notes, Birdie, please? What? What is this adorable talking creature? What is going on? What's it going to do? I'm not some creature. I'm a feline and a researcher myself to boot. Look, I have my own research notes here. Wow, you even sketched the little explosion that Fukurami herbs make. That's one of my favorites. Did you know that it explodes from the pressure of the liquid inside the fruit? That was my hypothesis. As the fruit ripens, the mucus inside gradually builds up.
Hey, I'm the one who saved you, so mind answering my questions first?
Oh, fine.
So, how did you get stuck down here in the first place?
It was part of my ecological survey. I did say that I'm a researcher, didn't I?
Okay, next question.
Hold on, let me talk first. I've got some incredible news for you all. You'll never guess what I saw. Do you know what's living in this cave? A super big flying monster.
Yeah.
Flying monster breathes fire.
Gotcha.
Gotcha? Do you not find it at least bit interesting?
It's called a Rathalos, and we were on its back before getting thrown down here.
How could this be? What a tragedy. It turned out to be a creature that's already known. I was even going to name it after a character from a manga I read recently. I got so excited over nothing. Wait, talking creature. I've never seen anything like you before. Are you a new species?
What are you doing? Get your paws off me!
Just let me take a good look.
Hold on, let's go down to business first. Did you come into contact with the Rathalos?
Yes, I observed it for a good while. I recorded its actions in the mine and what changes it went through with the Originium Zone, but now it feels like that was all a waste of time.
You recorded its behavior? Originium Zone? Changes? No. Could you please show us the records? This is really important.
Of course, just wait here for a bit while I find them.
Huh? Food, drinking water, even light equipment. What's all this?
And protective gear for the Originium, of course.
Oh, well prepared. No wonder you managed to last 3 days down here.
I even brought some carbonated Suzuka flavored drinks.
No, Corn, there's a ladder here. Maybe we can escape through the hole we came from.
This looks like the entrance to the Originium processing plant. Where did you see the Rathalos?
Not too far from here. Just straight ahead, through this hole in the mine shaft. The shaft you came down was the one closest to the mine, and was only abandoned because it was too far from the village. I imagine it's the most convenient for the Rathalos to fly in and out from.
You seem awfully familiar with the place.
Enough to get by. Alright, here.
And this is...
The Rathalos brought you two here, right? So I'm guessing you were separated from your other companions. You can make use of the vent over there to send a smoke signal to help them find you.
Thank you very much.
Anyway, here are all my notes, but my handwriting might be a little messy, so I'll read them out loud for you while you have a look. 4 days ago, the Rathalos flew into the cave at night, and the miners changing shifts were scared away. The flames it spewed also triggered a small explosion which led to a partial collapse of the mine and thus sealed the passage to the village.
No wonder there was so much active Originium dust.
It doesn't seem to be doing so well itself. The huge amount of Originium dust has noticeably affected it. In particular, it has difficulty feeding and an increasingly violent temperament. I used an instrument to examine the dust in more detail and could see a large amount of particles suspended around it. Every time it breathes fire, the dust is set aflame, causing great devastation. We're lucky it hasn't wrecked the mine yet.
Corn, that's why its flames are so powerful.
Did you come across it while outside?
More than once even. It's why we came in the first place, actually. It's been spreading Originium dust all over the village.
In that case, I must stress that if you want to deal with it, now might be the best time.
Huh?
Because it's in an extremely weakened state, and though it can recover quickly, it will take some time. Also, the mine has been overrun to the point of becoming structurally unstable.
Overused.
So if you just detonate bombs in certain spots, you could instantly collapse the entire mine.
I'm a little worried about the Rathalos spewing fire while we're doing that, though. It'd ignite all the Originium dust and, well, the consequences would be disastrous.
Yes, but you have to trust me. As long as you follow my plan, it won't have a chance to open its jaw, let alone spit out an ember. The only problem is that we don't have enough people to set up bombs in all the locations I've marked on the map. We need at least one more, or it'll be virtually impossible to get it done by today.
It would be perfect if Yato were here then.
Is that another of your companions?
Yes, and a very serious one, but reliable as. She also has 2 other felines like me by her side.
Then we should have enough, but...
But what?
It's about the Rathalos. I still have some questions that might influence your final decision. Check my notes on page 237, in the bottom right corner. I've done some research into the materials it leaves behind and found out that it's not actually infected with erythrithy, which means its changes were not due to the infection.
They're not? Then why does it have so much trouble feeding? I doubt it's completely unaffected by Originium, but I still wouldn't say it has oripathy. What's even stranger is that more and more Originium clusters are forming on its body.
So if the Rathalos isn't infected, the Originium clusters on its body might just be a temporary thing? And maybe it's not the one spreading the Originium dust?
That's my theory. But I don't have any hard evidence to confirm it. Besides, the Rathalos' behavior towards Originium is also remarkably different from other creatures I've observed, and it's really difficult to describe. I think it's best if you just see it for yourselves.
Let's go, Noircorn. Oddhorn Scholar, can you show us the way?
No, wait.
Oh, right. You just escaped.
I don't mind.
No, that's not what I'm... The communicator. We got a signal.
Oh, maybe it's due to the signal booster here?
Can you try and contact Yato? Hurry up and tell her what's going on here.
Not yet. First, I have to ask you something important, Miss Taki.
Huh? Me?
You came into the mine alone, but with ample resources before the Rathalos even arrived. You're very familiar with the place, but weren't with the miners when they changed shifts, otherwise you wouldn't have gotten stuck here. From my experience with the villagers and how sus they've been about the mine, I doubt they let an outsider conduct an ecological survey here. In short, I have some doubts about your identity. Not to mention, your family name is the same as the headman of Roka village, right? So you're related to him, but you don't mind teaching us how to destroy the mine, and are happy to guide us to the Rathalos. Mirai Taki, what exactly is your angle here?
Oh dear, I wasn't trying to hide anything, but I suppose it was just a matter of time.
You're playing a trick on us. I see, so you weren't a scholar after all. Then, who exactly are you?
No, I really am an ecological researcher. Got all my papers and everything. I did omit a few details, like the fact that Tataru is my uncle, or that I actually snuck into the mine. I also knew that you were from Rhode Island because I'm the one who left your contact information for my uncle to find. I'm assuming he couldn't handle the Originium dust the Rathalos was spreading, so he called you guys in.
You left him our contact info. Why?
Because I wanted to shut down the mine, and there was no way I could convince the entire village by myself. Originally, I was planning to contact you myself. I figured that once you saw what was going on here, you'd do whatever it took to get the villagers away from here, right? Unfortunately, they confiscated my external communication equipment before I could. So I thought I'd come down here on my own and figure out how to destroy it myself.
What made you so sure we'd evacuate the village? It wasn't even guaranteed that we'd stop them from mining. Also, I still don't know why you want to destroy the mine.
Because if Roka village continues to dig any deeper, this place will probably suffer a catastrophe.
A catastrophe? How soon are we talking?
Hard to say right now, since at this point it's just an anomaly in the surrounding environment.
So the Mirai we saw earlier was you leaving your mark after your investigation.
Yep. Then I assume you've been in a situation where it felt like you were just going in circles for hours. That's an effect of the anomaly. The bad news is that said anomaly is getting even worse. And I'm pretty sure our big boy Rathalos is heading the same way, though I haven't seen it do its flamethrower thing in its lair yet. Of course, everything would be solved if you just went along with my plan.
But why would the mine here cause a catastrophe?
Because, well, you'll understand once you see it.
Yato, you're bleeding.
Probably from the Rathalos' tailspin that sent me hurling to the ground. Some debris got into the wound, so I didn't notice it until now. It entered from the inner thigh. Can't tell how deep it is until I pull the debris out. Do you have any medicine to help treat this?
Not this, nor this.
It's alright, artisan. Is there anything that can be used as a rope?
Yes, just wrap some grass together like a braid.
How strong is it? That should hold. And do you have anything that could burn?
Found something. It burns.
Alright, then please make a fire. And this is for you. After the fire gets going, wipe the dagger clean and put it over the flame. Can you do that?
Yes, but...
Captain's log number 4. This is Rodan and Operation Teams A4. Captain Yato. In the previous battle with the Rathalos, I was separated from Operator Noir Korn, but our primary objective to track the creature has not changed. However, due to my current injury, the operation has been temporarily suspended. During the mission, we encountered many difficulties that far exceeded our expectations, and progress has not at all been smooth sailing. But I still believe in our ability to complete the mission, whatever the cost. I am now preparing to begin emergency field surgery on my wound, and will make an audio recording of the process for review purposes after the mission. First, I will remove the shard of debris from the wound.
Blood! So much blood!
Next, using a rope to stop the bleeding. The wound, I can see the bone, but at least none of my arteries were hit. Needs disinfection, scraping away the dirt. Disinfection complete. Next, to ensure the rest of the operation proceeds smoothly, I must make sure I remain mobile. In the absence of medicine and bandages, I have decided to use... Artisan, is it ready?
It's ready.
Now cauterizing the wound. And audio log. Hand me the knife.
Yato presses the knife to the edge of the wound.
Yato, are you alright?
I'm fine. The wound. Alright, the bleeding stopped.
Over there, look!
A smoke signal. From Noir Korn? It's in the direction that the Palico pointed out, so it must have come across the Rathalos. I'm glad they're doing well at least. In the sky, it should be almost dawn by now, but it's still so dim. Black clouds? What's that noise?
Forest, rumbling and shaking.
That sound. It's a beast.
Over there!
The beasts are dashing out from the forest. There are so many of them. Have they noticed something?
Help! Help us!
Someone's calling for help. Let's go.
So, why are there so many of them? I told you not to listen to the headman's orders to enter the forest. It's just a few outsiders. Help! Stop yelling! Why would there be anyone else in the damn forest? Better think of something before we die here.
Villagers? What are they doing here?
See, the yelling worked.
Come with me, quickly. I'll lead you out of here.
Can we head over there? I think we can avoid the beasts rampaging that way.
We can try. We're here. Seems like the beasts are headed in this direction for now.
Huh? It's them. The outsiders the headman wanted us to find. So they were still alive.
The headman sent you after us?
That combat ability. No wonder Mirai left Rhode Island contact information. She did say you weren't your average pharmacists. The headman said the cave-in might not have trapped you, so he told us to go and look for you in the mountains. And if he found you, to take you far, far away from the village.
Why would he do that?
Save it for later. The beasts are headed this way.
Their numbers have increased as well. If this keeps up... Curses. This is my fault for letting Kashiwao go alone, even though the Palico followed him. Given the current situation... Can you two get to a safe place by yourselves?
From here, should be able to.
Sorry, I can't continue to escort you. Stay safe. And if you manage to return to the village, please tell the residents to evacuate as soon as possible.
Got it, and thank you.
Artisan, we should go and help Kashiwao.
What about Noir Corn?
Right. They should still be with the Rathalos. I should update him on the plan, but there's no time for that now.
The communicator going off suddenly with a doot.
Comes! Alive!
It's Korn. I'm glad we caught the signal.
Oh my god. This has happened in prior recordings as well. I don't know why it happens, but sometimes the game just bugs out and the character that should be in this little split area here is not present. So, enjoy. Anyway. Yato, can you hear me?
I'm here. I'm seeing a smoke signal from my location. Is that yours?
Yeah, I'm with the feline scholar and we're safe for the time being. How are things on your end?
I'm doing fine. Korn, do you know what the situation is like outside?
The beginning of a catastrophe, yeah?
Yes, there have been some obvious tells. Judging from the situation, there is still time to evacuate the villagers, but the wild beasts in the forest have already started rampaging. We need to update each other on the situation to coordinate our actions. Not long ago, I made a mistake of clashing with Kashiwao and letting him go off on his own. He might be in some kind of danger right now, and I think I should prioritize saving him over rendezvousing with you. I'm still not clear how we'll deal with the Rathalos, but it is highly likely that he'll lose his life on his own. It was my fault, so I absolutely cannot leave him behind.
I get you, but I gotta tell you something too.
What is it?
Right now we're above the Rathalos' nest, and we found out it's connected to the cave in the village. It's an originium mine. That's the source of the dust that the Rathalos has been spreading.
So that's what it was.
Also, we have a really good plan to deal with the Rathalos.
Oh?
If we destroy the mine and bury it in the rubble, we'll be able to take care of it once and for all. It won't be able to spread any more oripathy, and the villagers can evacuate without any worries.
Can you confirm the feasibility of this plan?
It was hatched by someone who's researched the mine in depth, but if we want to do this right away, just me and the feline scholar won't be enough. We'll need your help too. If we miss this opportunity, who knows what kind of accident might happen. In the worst case scenario, we'll probably be facing an unprecedented crisis, so we need you to make the call.
Understood.
Yato?
What a dilemma we've gotten ourselves into.
Yato, listen to me. Remember what we decided back then? We've already made our choice.
Nonsense. I never said I couldn't do it. I'm not changing my decision. I'll go look for Kashiwao right away, while you do your best to keep the situation over there under control. I will save his life, and I won't let the Rathalos harm anyone else either. I'll save everyone.
Alright, be careful out there.
You too.
Die! All of you die! Get out of my sight! You scamp. Just why did you?
Don't hold me back, old-timer.
You truly don't have a brain up there, do you? A group of hunters who know not the rules of the forest, much less respect them, and in provoking its wrath, set all the beasts into a frenzy, trampling all over our crops. Well, fantastic. I suppose they'll get their just desserts.
All they brought were some mining tools. There's no way they can handle that many wild beasts. So I have to go in there. I can't just stand back and watch them get torn apart.
Aren't you also against the Originium mining project? This is perfect for us, is it not? Those fools in the forest were asking for it. Just let nature consume them, as it should.
Old-timer, as a hunter of the village, I of all people can't sit back at a time like this.
You idiotic, wretched brat! You step outside this room, and I'll break your legs!
But you never did stop me from going, which is how I ended up like that.
Yes, it was all me. I caused your death. It was all my fault. I'm a terrible father.
You should feel ashamed of your incompetence. And you must also pay for your sins.
Yes, I should. Which is why I've been trying to kill all the beasts here in your stead. Especially that most wicked, enormous, insane, fire-spewing monster. But I am incapable of hunting it. These hands of mine are too old to properly wield a spear, and mine eyes are so clouded I can only watch milk beasts frolic around.
Then lay down and die.
Die? Yes. That's about the only thing I'm capable of now. Kill one, and then another. And then I will be able to see you again.
He wanted to swing his hunting spear, but his arms had no more strength, letting it fall to the ground. He had no desire to retrieve it, for it had lost all purpose. The beast bared its fangs and was about to tear its prey apart.
Denied the chance. A beast clad in scales. Now that's a sight I've not seen in. And now the beasts mutually rend each other apart. Will I die beneath the claws and teeth of these monsters?
Yato, your majesty, I advise me to reconsider, for it will not be easy to get out of this.
What is that? Someone's voice?
Just tell me how you can help me, or I'll just cut my way through.
Someone speaking. Am I just imagining things?
It's not time for you to die yet, old man.
What are you still doing here, girl?
Saving you.
You should have left this place, not come to my aid.
Fusakero na! Didn't you say you were going to hunt the Rathalos, yet you're still willing to die to some nameless beast? Open your eyes already. The frenzied beasts are going to rush down the mountain sooner or later, and the first thing they'll trample over will be the village. Your neighbors will be forced to scatter and flee, and innocent children will die. Are you going to just stand by and watch all of that happen? Yoshitaka Kashiwao, you are a hunter of Roka village, and as its only hunter, you of all people can't sit back at a time like this. The last thing you should be doing is feeling sorry for yourself here, much less giving up your life so easily. Wield that spear in your hands, abandon those useless obsessions, and think carefully on what a hunter's duty is. To defend their home from the sharp claws of beasts, to desperately keep the flames of survival lit. True, somebody will always be forced to bear the price, hunters as well as us, but we have both chosen this path. Now get up!
Akira, what was it that you said back then to get me to let you go?
I said that I would defeat them all.
Did you succeed?
I did, father.
Akira. You've got a damn good spear, boy. I should hold onto it tight. Go, and never appear before me again. I will defeat them all. That's enough noise from you. You don't speak much, girl, but when you do, You're fiercer than a mangler.
If you have the strength to talk, then stop wasting time and cover the rear.
I have no reason to take orders from a whippersnapper. Mind your own business.
Your Majesty's words remind me so much of my time in Kokoto village. Before the age of the hunters, it was the headman who first stepped up to defend the village from Meowsters, earning the title of hero for his bravery. Please do not pick me up by the scruff of my neck.
Palico, watch your right.
Do you remember the moves I spoke of earlier, Your Majesty?
Well, I've gone over them in my head a few times.
You must remember, the trick to using the dual blade to their fullest potential is to abandon all defense and enter a state alike to a voracious beast. Or as we call it, demon mode.
Demon mode, huh? We move.
Alright, and let's wrap up today's episode with the after part for stage 7.
I never thought the cave would be so close to a volcano. My tail is feeling so warm. Ah! It's hot! It's on fire!
Now I get why you wanted to close the mine. You'd have done the same in your shoes. This place has definitely been overmined. It even has an originium processing plant, but none of the specialized equipment you'd usually see. This has gone way further than any tiny village can handle. Mining so carelessly without strict safeguards in place will only result in the leakage of active originium particles and inevitably cause catastrophes. But what I don't get is, based on what you said, they started mining 7 years ago, and the person who led the project was your uncle, the current village headman. So, why do the tunnels stretch so deep after just 7 years? They can't possibly have dug all this themselves.
You're half correct.
Huh?
The mining tunnels weren't dug by the villagers, they were already here before. Remember what I said earlier about the beast outbreak 7 years ago?
Yeah, you said it was a real serious one, and that old Kashibao's son Akira was also a hunter and lost his life in it.
That was a direct consequence of the mining.
You good, Scholar?
I'm perfectly fine. What exactly did I trip on? Ah! Bones?
Yeah, that's a whole lot of bones, plus teeth and, claws.
I've been dead for a long time. Wait, this form. It must have been a large carnivorous creature. This is my first time seeing one here. Judging from its remains, it would have been covered in scales and have well-developed forelimbs with long and sharp claws. So it most probably was good at digging holes.
An Arma claw beast. That's their name. A type of predator that once inhabited this region. They were social creatures that would dig their nests in the mountains. This mine was actually one of their nests, and they built majestic places over the years while tunneling through the surrounding originium veins.
But we haven't seen a single one down here, or in the forest.
And that's because they disappeared 7 years ago.
Disappeared?
Disappeared? For real?
The very last trace of their species in this area is the pile of skeletons before you.
How exactly did something like that happen?
Back when this originium mine was newly discovered, Akira Kashiwao was firmly against the project. He reckoned destroying the Armor Claw Beast's nests would net unpredictable consequences, and that originium mining itself wasn't exactly safe either. On the other hand, my uncle and the other villagers believed that they desperately needed the potential profits to change their grueling way of life. So concealing it from Akira, they and the other hunters banded together to exterminate all the armor claw beasts in the region in order to freely mine the originium. But the slaughter resulted in the surviving armor claw beasts rampaging through the forest, leading to the beast outbreak that year.
So many innocent lives were lost, just for the sake of opening a mine.
You must have seen my uncle's attitude, yes? To him, the Rathalos is simply the manifestation of vengeance from all the beasts he slaughtered. He definitely has dreams about Akira's death on the regular, too. His closest friend, his apprentice, carried out the will of a hunter to the very end, and died for his sake. And now that Akira's predictions have come true, naturally he's terrified.
Akira died for the headman's sake. I thought he lost his life protecting the village?
The outbreak wasn't threatening the village, but was closer to the mine. He was beset by frenzied beasts whose numbers far surpassed any regular outbreaks we'd seen. Oh, we're here.
Originium rocks were clustering around the lava bubbling in the cave. The King of the Skies lifted its head. The insignificant Oni looked down. Their eyes each reflected the other's gaze. Chikshome.
It's surrounded by a bunch of originium rocks. Since you didn't want to deal with it right now, take care not to get too close. If we accidentally anger it, we'll be in deep trouble.
Got it? Scholar, where are you at?
The Rathalos seems to be using the originium for its lair. This is impossible to comprehend.
Looks like it's in a lot of pain. Is it because of the originium on it?
Most probably, and there seems to be substantially more particles compared to the previous encounter. Right now it's more or less an oversized source of pollution spreading originium dust wherever it goes. My hypothesis is that the Rathalos most probably was just trying to survive and ended up nesting here. But being deep in the mines, it's constantly exposed to originium. When it returns to the forest to feed, the flames it spews while hunting will in turn trigger the cluster on its body, dispersing particles everywhere.
So it's a victim of originium too.
Must you hunt it, Noir Cone?
The originium is too much of a danger to leave alone, and considering the safety of both the village and ourselves, hunting it is the best way of handling the situation.
But if we can deal with just the clusters, I just need a little more time. I'll bring out my binoculars. What else could there be? Those tracks are...
Scholar, come quick! You're too far out! The ground's too unstable over there!
Huh?
Gotcha!
I was so afraid. Narcord, why didn't you warn me earlier? Didn't you see that?
Uh-huh.
The binoculars just bounce up to the Rathalos' head. Sparks are coming out of its jaw.
Just run already. The mine is gonna be destroyed.
Run for it.
I'm running!
If it triggers all the originium here, the anomalies are definitely going to spike. And then... it'll be a catastrophe.
A black mist shrouds the sky, and the mountains and rivers burst. Wind scales the peaks, and flames rise like crimson tide. Vegetation burns to ashes, and life into coal. The village gates swing open, and the houses collapse. All life covers, and the heavens fall.
They're dodging my slashes so easily.
Oh, foolish. You clearly lack a hunter's intuition. Their weak point is the soft patch of skin in their jaws. Stab right there, so you can slit the throat.
Got it. 6-fold slash. A hit.
Have a taste of this. Kolayero!
We did it.
Be careful of the rear, Mewtwo.
Nanjikaria!
2-fold slash. You're welcome. Are my hands losing their strength?
On my way to a certain village, I heard tales of an endless stream of dragons, but to personally witness a similar event.
The beast outbreak is showing no signs of abating. If we remain trapped here, we'll eventually collapse from exhaustion. We have to find a way out. If we can make our way to those tall trees over there, we can make use of the canopy's heights to avoid the rampage.
I have an idea.
What's this?
This is the powder I used to trigger the horn beasts earlier, in hopes of luring out the Rathalos, but I used too much and lost control of the herd. Using it on people is unheard of and probably suicidal, but right now this might be our only method of drawing them away.
But that means...
Yes, whoever is affected by it will be behest by the entire horde, but as long as we can make our way through, it will be worth it. Probably.
No. Artisan, do you still have that rope from earlier?
Yes, I made so much of it.
Good. It's long and tough enough to support the weight of multiple people. If we tie it to the tree, we can use it as a makeshift grappling hook to retrieve whoever's acting as bait. Which will be me, so if you would...
No, I must be the bait.
I won't allow it. It's too dangerous to let you get surrounded by the horde again. If you sacrifice yourself here, wouldn't it make my efforts to save you meaningless?
I don't know if I'd be able to rescue you with these old hands of mine, but I can at least make sure not to croak before you rescue me. I have faith in you, girl.
Fine. Let's do this.
Come, you bastards! Over here! Yes, just like that. Chase me like the lunatics you are!
Lost my chance. Flurry rush. Huh?
It worked perfectly.
Deploy the grappling hook immediately. I'll go retrieve Kashiwao.
These beasts just charged straight at me with wild abandon. We really lured them away. I can't believe it. There's simply so many of them. That day 7 years ago, was also like this. Brat, is this how you felt that night? Did you die to something like this? Was this what you saw in your final moments? Surrounded by these beasts, encircled by their jaws, drowning in their saliva. You must have been slaying them one after another with the spear, just like this. But no matter how many you killed, there were always more and more of these damnable beasts. Wave after relentless wave. Be gone! So, I saw you as a mere slab of meat to be divided between themselves. No longer among the living. And knowing you, brat, you probably just kept your mouth shut, rather than calling for help. Simply brandishing this lance till your strength failed you, till you could wield it no longer. Collapsing on some rocks, slowly falling to your knees, yet the beasts never ceased their advance. So that's how it was.
Kashiwao, grab my hand! What are you looking blacking out for? Quickly! Got you. Palico, pull the rope. Finally.
Not that yet, Your Majesty. The branches over there have broken. Many more beasts rush over as we speak.
Chickshaw, is there anything else we can do?
Your Majesty, look! The beasts are scattering all of a sudden. A noise from the sky. The Rathalos soars through the sky. And it's...
Nantakota.
A catastrophe.
The gale carelessly bound both land and sky together with flame, like an ignorant life devouring everything in its path. Trees were but weeds within the tornado of fire, and mountains crumbled to rubble. The most fearless of warriors were powerless to stand against it, and the most devout prayers echoed to no avail. It had arrived, the land's retribution.
Jump down, brace for impact. Is everyone alright?
I'm fine.
I'm perfectly fine as well.
The sky is alight. Pillars of crimson flame. What a truly terrifying sight.
I've read about a similar case on the landship before. A hurricane unleashed by catastrophe encircled a mountain on fire, becoming a voracious firestorm. As it moves, the vortex pulls from its surroundings, and with everything combustible in the forest, I can't imagine the consequences. Why did the catastrophe strike so soon?
The center of the firestorm. It's near the mine.
The mine?
Taste my blade! Hey, so this is where you guys were. See, Scholar? Just like I said.
That's enough yapping, Noir Corn. I expect a full report soon.
Right?
Old Kashibao, what are you doing here?
I could ask you the same thing, Mirai.
You can hardly call this fortunate, but at least we managed to escape the horde thanks to the catastrophe. I don't know what the situation in the village is right now, but the core of the catastrophe is still quite a ways away and moving fairly slowly. However, that's not the case with the beast outbreak. Any ideas on how to return to the village as soon as possible? If that's still nearby, maybe we can use it to descend the mountain quickly.
It has not been used for a long time. I can't be sure if it still works.
So, planning on letting the rest of us in on this?
There's a rail car. We used it a lot when the mines were just opening, and it made things real convenient, but after the cave was repaired, we more or less abandoned it. Don't worry, it should still work fine. It was the very first thing I designed after all.
Weren't you an ecologist? I'm not sure I should trust your skills as a railcar engineer.
Kashibao, our next battle won't be any easier, so I hope you're prepared.
I don't suppose you'd let this old man loaf about for once?
Please, by all means. I fully intend to respect your opinion.
Oh?
I'm aware that I tend to ignore the ideas of those around me and insist on doing things my way. And that is a behavior I should correct. The mistakes I've made were precisely because of that, and I should also apologize for what I said earlier. I'm sorry for my unproductive words without knowing anything about your background. I did not intend to hurt you. So will you accept my apology?
Fine, if it pleases you.
Good, then that's settled.
Girl, earlier you said you understood me. What did you mean by that?
It's a bit of a long story.
If it's a bother, just pretend I didn't ask.
No, I don't mind. You see, before joining Rhode Island, I was an assassin.
Nani?
A literal killer, acting on orders to take the lives of my people, day and night. Until one day, I looked at my blood-stained hands and felt nothing but fear in my heart. The next day, I was tasked to dispose of a mother and daughter, but chose to protect them instead. Because I didn't want to be a killer anymore. That was also the day I met Noir Corn, who listened to my story and chose the same path. But I made a mistake. It wasn't just a matter of refusing to kill. The pair I saved were so frightened of me that I could only leave them in a safe place. And while in a moment I felt only the weightless relief of not taking a life, I had forgotten something important. That the only end awaiting them was to be killed by someone else.
Do you regret it?
Yes, for a long time after that I often dreamt of them. They would ask me why I had left them to die. I didn't want to hurt innocence anymore, but I still ended up indirectly cutting their lives short. I used to wonder if I was even capable of protecting anyone at all. Luckily I had help. Thanks to him, I made my decision.
You mean the boy over there?
Yes.
Huh.
He scolded me, a rare occurrence, and said, "The past is in the past. All your remorse, all the sins you carry, make up for them with your future."
I took him for just an oddball, but I suppose he's got a proper head on after all.
When he said, what he said seemed right to me, and since then I haven't given it much thought. We decided to make it our mission to protect others, and he dragged me along to join Rhode Island. And because of our similar objectives, we are still working together even now.
This must be some company to hiring on people like you. So protecting others is your way of atoning for your past?
You might say it started like that, but I've had a few additional insights along the way. I've seen too much life and death. There are many reasons people might surrender their lives, and some even seek death out of ignorance. You could say I stubbornly impose my will on others, but only because of my duty to protect your lives. Life in this land is not meant to end so easily, but to be lived and experienced all its possibilities. So I will continue my efforts. I don't want to regret anything or to see people forced to gaze only at ruins. So I refuse to leave you alone.
Yato, Kashi, wow! We found the rail car and it's still working! Hey, what are you both looking at me like that for? Is there something on my mask?
It's nothing. We'll be right over. Anyway, I look forward to cooperating with you in the upcoming battle, Kashiwao.
Yato holds out a hand.
No. I've told you this many times already. That's my quarry. You need only watch from the sidelines and applaud my brilliance.
I'll just pretend I didn't hear that.
The path you've chosen is not an easy one. All I can do is wish you the best.
Likewise.
And now they're friends. Well, old Kashiwao is not an old crazy dingus, luckily. Anyway, this will be it for today's part. I know it's a bit shorter, at least when it comes to the number of stages, but it's a decent length. And next time we shall finish it off with, I think it's 2 stages left. One of them is a boss-only stage, from what I heard. So, we'll see how much story is left, but usually certain endings tend to be very, very long. But we shall see that next time. For now, thank you for watching this video. And of course, as always, if you've liked it, please consider leaving a like. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. There's a lot more done on the channel like this. And many other things besides just stories, side stories, and the main story. And yeah, thank you all. And I hope you have a fantastic day wherever you are. And I will see you in the next one. Until then, bye-bye.